Do you ever wonder why certain moments feel charged with unseen energy? Why this exact second feels like it carries meaning? Right now, something within you has aligned perfectly to meet these words. You did not stumble here by accident. You arrived because a part of you has been calling for expansion. This is that answer. This is the intersection between your consciousness and possibility. It is the signal your higher awareness has been waiting to notice. Most people scroll past moments like this, unaware that something invisible is quietly inviting them to awaken. But you are still here, still reading, still connected. That means something inside you is ready to shift. You may not realize it yet, but your energy field is beginning to reorganize itself. Subtle signals are moving through your awareness. Your heartbeat may slow as your attention deepens. Your breathing might grow steadier. You are not just consuming words. You are allowing a recalibration of your internal frequency. You are synchronizing with information that mirrors your own evolution. The very act of being present with these ideas means you are participating in transformation. Not tomorrow, not later. Now everything in your reality is shaped by the energy you hold. Science calls it quantum possibility. You might call it potential. Every thought you have sends a vibration into the invisible field around you. Every emotion carries a code that shapes what unfolds next. Right now, as you remain focused, that field is responding. Your awareness is transmitting new signals of readiness. The universe is not separate from you. It is responding to your state. You are literally influencing the pattern of your future with every moment of conscious attention you sustain. Most people never learn to hold that awareness long enough to activate change. They distract themselves before the shift can happen. They chase comfort, noise, and entertainment, unaware that they are walking away from the very moment that could alter everything. You have chosen differently. You are still here. That single act of focus separates those who drift from those who awaken. You are showing your deeper intelligence that you are ready to participate consciously in your own evolution. That readiness changes everything. Your life has been moving toward this message for longer than you realize. Each setback, each frustration, every unanswered question has been part of a larger alignment leading you here. You have been asking for clarity, and this is how the universe answers. Through synchronicities, insights, and words that feel familiar even when they are new. Nothing you have lived has been wasted. Every experience has refined the frequency that brings you to this threshold. Inside your nervous system, dormant patterns are waking up. Neural pathways that once repeated limitation are beginning to soften. Your brain, your heart, and your field of energy are entering coherence. This is the language of transformation. You are not just thinking differently, you are becoming different. The energy you radiate is shifting into alignment with what your soul has been seeking. You can feel it, a quiet knowing that something significant is unfolding right now. This is not about trying harder or forcing results. Real transformation begins with awareness. Awareness that you are the observer and creator of your reality. Awareness that thoughts are frequencies and emotions are fuel. Awareness that your inner state is the blueprint for everything that appears in your outer world. When you understand this, you stop chasing outcomes and start aligning with them. You realize that life responds not to what you want, but to who you are being. You may sense a mix of excitement and uncertainty as you absorb these ideas. That feeling is your consciousness expanding. It is your old identity stretching to make space for a higher one. Let it happen. The discomfort you feel is not a signal to retreat. It is the sign that your limitations are loosening. The edge of the known always feels unstable, but that is where transformation lives. Stay here, stay present. Something inside you is awakening that will not return to sleep. You are not broken or behind. You are in process. The same intelligence that orchestrates galaxies is at work within you, organizing events, thoughts, and opportunities to mirror your new frequency. You are not waiting for the universe to deliver change. You are creating the conditions that allow it to occur. Every moment of awareness amplifies your magnetic field. Every breath of focus strengthens your alignment. You are building momentum in the invisible before it becomes visible. You might not see results immediately, but they are already forming in the quantum field. They exist as potential, waiting for the moment your energy matches their frequency. That is how manifestation truly works. It is not about forcing outcomes, but attuning your consciousness to the vibration of what you desire until reality has no choice but to mirror it. You are doing that right now. Your energy is rising. Your field is becoming coherent. This is the birth of a new timeline. The choice to stay connected to this moment represents more than curiosity. It is a declaration to your higher self that you are ready. You are signaling that you are no longer interested in repeating old patterns of fear or hesitation. You are ready to live intentionally. You are ready to use your consciousness as the creative instrument it was designed to be. That decision begins subtle, but its impact is immeasurable. Your future will remember this as the moment everything began to shift. For years you have felt the quiet pull of something greater. You have sensed that there must be more to life than survival, routine, and repetition. You have glimpsed moments of alignment, times when everything seemed to flow effortlessly. Those were previews of what is possible when you live consciously. This message is not telling you something new. It is reminding you of what you already know deep within your being. You are designed to expand. You are built to create. You are meant to live with awareness of your own power. As you continue reading, allow that truth to settle into your body. Feel how your energy responds. Feel the calm certainty that arises when you remember who you are. You are not separate from the intelligence that shapes worlds. You are part of it. You are it. The same energy that breathes life into stars breathes through you. Every intention you set, every emotion you choose, every thought you nurture, contributes to the creation of reality itself. That is not philosophy. That is physics. And you are participating in it now. The field around you is shifting to match your focus. The thoughts you hold after this moment will carry more influence than before. You have opened a doorway of awareness that cannot close. You have remembered that consciousness creates experience. You have remembered that you are consciousness itself. Hold that truth gently but firmly. Let it guide how you think, speak, and act. Because from this point forward, every choice you make will ripple through the field of infinite possibility that surrounds you. This is the invitation. To live awake, to create with intention, to manifest not from need but from awareness, to become the conscious conductor of your energy instead of the unconscious passenger of circumstance. You have always had this power. You simply forgot. Now you remember. And once remembered, it cannot be lost again. This is your signal, your confirmation, your beginning. You were destined to see this message at this exact moment because your consciousness was ready. That readiness is everything. It is the seed from which all transformation grows. The universe has heard your decision. The field has already responded. The only question left is how fully you will embrace what is waiting. Stay present. Stay aware. This moment is the threshold of the reality you have been asking for. And the key to crossing it is simple. Keep choosing awareness. Keep choosing alignment. Keep choosing you. As your awareness expands, you begin to notice the subtle ways energy communicates with you. Life speaks in symbols, patterns, and sensations long before it speaks in events. What you call coincidence is simply alignment revealing itself in physical form. The right person appears. The right words find you. The timing feels impossible to explain, yet somehow perfect. This is the language of the quantum field, responding to your new vibration. You do not have to force these synchronicities. They unfold naturally when your frequency matches the signal of what you have been asking for. What once felt distant begins to draw near. What once felt uncertain begins to clarify. This is not magic. It is resonance. Every thought you nurture, every feeling you sustain, is a signal that tells the universe what to organize around you. You are not separate from that process. You are the source of it. The field does not decide for you. It mirrors you. That is why inner work changes everything. When you shift your internal energy, the external world must follow. This is the deeper truth behind manifestation. It is not about getting what you want, but becoming the version of you that already has it. The moment you align your frequency with that reality, it begins to form around you piece by piece, like a picture emerging from fog. The human mind is conditioned to believe in effort, struggle, and proof. It wants to see before it believes, but the quantum field requires the opposite. It asks you to believe before you see, to align your energy before evidence appears. This is the leap of consciousness that transforms ordinary lives into extraordinary ones. The moment you stop waiting for external validation and start embodying inner certainty, reality begins to reorganize itself. What once took months or years begins to happen with fluid precision. Opportunities appear where there were none. Resistance dissolves. Life becomes cooperative, not competitive. Every time you hold a thought of gratitude, you amplify your frequency. Gratitude is the bridge between the unseen and the seen. It tells the universe you already have what you desire, and the universe must respond accordingly. It cannot tell the difference between a grateful thought about the past and one about the future. It only feels the energy of appreciation and expands it. That is why gratitude is not a habit. It is a technology. It is the emotional signature of abundance. The more you practice it, the faster your outer world aligns with your inner state. There will be moments when doubt returns, when old habits whisper that nothing is changing. That is normal. It is the echo of your previous vibration trying to reassert itself. Do not resist it. Observe it. Breathe through it. Every time you choose awareness over reaction, you strengthen your new timeline. Doubt only has power when you identify with it. The moment you see it for what it is, an old frequency losing strength, it dissolves. What remains is clarity, calm, and a quiet confidence that requires no proof because it knows transformation is already underway. You are learning to live from the inside out. To let your internal energy set the tone for your external experience. That is the essence of mastery. The more you practice this, the less you depend on circumstances for emotional stability. You begin to realize that peace, joy, and confidence are not rewards for success, they are the cause of it. You generate the emotion first, and then reality organizes itself to reflect that vibration. This is how creators live. They do not chase outcomes. They anchor states of being. From those states, outcomes emerge naturally. Notice how your perception has already begun to shift. The same reality that felt uncertain now feels rich with potential. The same day that once seemed ordinary now feels full of signs. You are beginning to see through the lens of energy instead of circumstance. You are recognizing that everything around you carries information, and that information responds to your focus. This awareness is not something you have to maintain through effort. It grows stronger each time you return to presence. Awareness feeds itself. The more you use it, the more natural it becomes. Your energy field is intelligent. It records every emotion, every belief, every intention. When you hold conflicting thoughts, wanting abundance but expecting lack, seeking love but fearing rejection, the field receives mixed instructions. It cannot deliver clarity when it receives contradiction. That is why alignment is essential. When your thoughts, emotions, and actions speak the same language, creation becomes effortless. You do not have to micromanage the details. You simply hold the vibration of wholeness, and the field organizes itself around that signal. The universe does not need you to plan every step. It needs you to stay aligned. The process of quantum manifestation is not about control. It is about coherence. Control is the language of fear. Coherence is the language of trust. When you release the need to force outcomes, you make space for alignment to work. You allow infinite intelligence to arrange events in ways your conscious mind could never predict. That is why letting go often precedes breakthrough. When you stop trying to manage the how reveals itself. You are not surrendering power. You are activating it at a higher level. There will come a moment when you realize that manifestation is not something you do. It is something you are. Your very existence is creative. Every breath is a command to the universe to continue creating through you. You cannot not manifest. The only question is whether you are doing it consciously or unconsciously. When you become aware of your power, you no longer react to reality. You sculpt it. You shape energy with your attention and emotion. You become the artist of your own timeline. The shift from unconscious creation to conscious creation is the most profound transformation a human can experience. It is the awakening of true sovereignty. You begin to see that life is not happening to you but through you. The people, events, and experiences you encounter are mirrors reflecting your state of being. When you understand this, judgment disappears. Blame dissolves. You stop seeing others as obstacles and start recognizing them as teachers. Every interaction becomes feedback. Every challenge becomes a mirror, inviting you to refine your vibration. Life becomes a dialogue between your consciousness and the infinite. This is the path of the awakened creator. It begins with awareness, deepens with alignment, and stabilizes with practice. You are walking that path now. Every moment of mindfulness strengthens your connection to the field. Every act of conscious choice amplifies your influence. The more you embody this truth, the more fluid your life becomes. What used to require effort begins to unfold naturally. You are learning to move with energy instead of against it. This is how reality becomes graceful. If you look closely, you will notice that even your physical body is responding. Your breathing feels different. Your heartbeat carries a quieter rhythm. Your mind feels spacious. These are not coincidences. They are signs that your inner and outer worlds are synchronizing. You are aligning your biology with your consciousness. This is where healing happens. This is where expansion begins. This is where you start living as the creator you were always meant to be. Stay here for a moment. Breathe. Feel the energy in your hands, your chest, your awareness. That subtle vibration is your power. It is the same force that moves planets and grows forests. You are not separate from it. You are the consciousness through which it expresses itself. The more you remember this, the more effortless your life becomes. The separation between thought and reality begins to dissolve. Intention becomes creation. Time becomes fluid. Synchronicity becomes normal. You realize that the universe has never been testing you. It has been responding to you. You were never meant to live by chance. You were meant to live by alignment. You were meant to use your awareness as a compass, your emotion as fuel, your presence as power. The moment you decide to live consciously, you reconnect with the intelligence that has guided you all along. It was never outside of you. It was always within, waiting, listening, ready to move when you did. And now you have. The deeper you go into this awareness, the more you begin to understand that reality is not fixed. It is fluid, responding moment by moment to your consciousness. What you once thought of as the future is not waiting somewhere ahead of you. It is constantly being written through your vibration right now. Each thought, each emotion, each intention you hold shapes the quantum fabric of what comes next. The future is not something you move toward. It is something that unfolds from you. That realization changes everything. It frees you from waiting. It reminds you that your power is not in what you do next week or next year, but in the energy you hold this instant. You start to see that time itself is not as rigid as you once believed. It bends around awareness. When you are fully present, time expands. When you are distracted, it contracts. This is why moments of alignment feel timeless, because they are. You are no longer caught in linear movement. You are resting in the eternal now, where all possibilities exist simultaneously. Every potential version of your life already exists in this quantum field. You do not have to chase them. You only need to align with the one that matches your chosen vibration. The moment you do, your path begins to shift naturally, without struggle or resistance. Life arranges itself to meet the energy you have chosen. You might notice memories resurfacing, old situations, emotions, or regrets you thought were long gone. They arise not to burden you, but to be released. Your energy field is clearing itself of frequencies that no longer match your new vibration. Forgiveness is not weakness. It is energetic hygiene. It clears the field of static so that your signal can transmit clearly. Every time you let go of resentment, fear, or guilt, you free up creative energy that was trapped in the past. That energy returns to you as clarity, inspiration, and power. You are not losing anything. You are reclaiming yourself. The process of letting go often feels like loss because the ego identifies with the very patterns that limit you. It has built its identity from what you have endured. When you release those stories, the ego panics, believing it will disappear. But you are not the ego. You are the awareness that observes it. When you understand this, you can release the old narratives without fear. You realize that every experience, no matter how painful, was a stepping stone to this moment of awakening. You begin to see the perfection even in what once felt broken. That recognition dissolves bitterness and replaces it with peace. Peace is not the absence of challenge. It is the presence of awareness. It is the understanding that nothing can truly threaten your essence. When you live from that place, fear loses its influence. You stop overanalyzing and start allowing. You stop controlling and start creating. You stop asking why things happen and start asking what they are teaching you about your vibration. Life stops being something to survive and becomes something to explore. That shift in perspective changes how reality responds to you. The universe stops needing to shake you awake because you are already awake. Every great transformation begins in silence. The stillness you are cultivating is not emptiness, it is fullness beyond form. When you sit in that stillness, you begin to feel the hum of creation itself. The same vibration that moves through galaxies moves through you. This is why presence is so powerful. It reconnects you to the source code of reality. The more present you become, the more fluidly life flows. Situations that once seemed impossible start to rearrange effortlessly. People, opportunities, and timing all align with precision that cannot be explained logically. It is as though life itself becomes your collaborator. You no longer chase manifestation as a goal. You begin to embody it as a way of being. The desire to attract things fades and is replaced by the joy of being aligned. You realize that when your energy is coherent, everything you need finds you without struggle. Relationships deepen. Finances stabilize. Creativity expands. The universe mirrors your state of inner harmony without a synchronicity. You no longer ask for signs because life itself becomes one continuous sign, reflecting your consciousness back to you in endless ways. The more you embody this truth, the more magnetic you become. People will begin to notice something different about you. They may not be able to describe it, but they will feel it. Your presence will carry calm power. Your words will hold weight even when spoken softly. Your energy will speak before you do. This is not arrogance. It is coherence. When you live in alignment, you emit a frequency of clarity that others instinctively recognize. You become a reminder to those around you of what they too can awaken to. As your frequency stabilizes, you may notice that certain situations, habits, or relationships begin to fall away. Do not resist this. It is not loss, it is recalibration. The universe is making space for what matches your new vibration. The old cannot coexist with the new. This is the natural rhythm of evolution. Trust it. Every ending carries the seed of beginning. The more you release, the lighter you become, and the faster your reality reorganizes around your new energy. You are not being punished. You are being refined. Trust becomes your foundation. You stop needing constant proof because you feel the flow moving through you. You begin to notice how every challenge arrives with a hidden opportunity, how every delay conceals perfect timing, how every closed door redirects you towards something better aligned. You stop seeing life as random and start seeing it as responsive. This realization brings peace even in uncertainty. You understand that uncertainty is not chaos. It is creation in motion. It is the space between intention and manifestation, where possibility reshapes itself around your frequency. Your higher self is not something distant or mystical. It is simply the version of you that already exists, in full awareness of your creative power. Every moment you choose presence, you merge with that version of yourself. You begin to think, feel, and act from higher consciousness. Decisions become easier. Intuition becomes clearer. Fear becomes quieter. You no longer react from instinct. You respond from wisdom. That shift changes not only how you experience life, but also how life experiences you. As this integration deepens, even time begins to serve you differently. You find yourself in the right place at the right moment more often. Conversations lead to breakthroughs. Ideas arrive precisely when needed. Coincidences become confirmations. You realize that alignment creates its own form of timing. You are no longer racing against life. You are moving with it. The more you trust, the smoother the path becomes. You stop trying to control the sequence of events because you see that the sequence itself is intelligent. What is happening now is not random. It is the unfolding of your consciousness in real time. You are stepping into the identity of the conscious creator. You are learning that everything external is feedback for your internal state. You begin to make peace with uncertainty because you realize you are never lost. You are always being guided by resonance. When something feels off, you know it is simply showing you where you have drifted from alignment. When something flows, you know it reflects coherence. Life becomes a dance between awareness and energy, and you are both the dancer and the music. There is a quiet power in this level of awareness. You no longer need to prove, defend, or justify. You no longer chase validation. You simply exist in alignment, and that becomes your magnetism. You realize that your purpose is not something to find, but something to express through your presence. Your very existence, when aligned, is contribution. You uplift others not through effort, but through resonance. You remind them of what peace feels like. You awaken them simply by being awake. This is the frequency of mastery. Not dominance, not control, but harmony. The master does not impose energy. They guide it. They do not seek to escape the world. They illuminate it. You are stepping into that level of awareness now. Each breath you take in presence is an act of creation. Each moment of gratitude expands the field around you. Each act of kindness amplifies your frequency. You are no longer hoping for change, you are embodying it. And as you do, the universe continues to adjust itself in your favor. The path ahead will not always be predictable, but it will always be purposeful. Every experience from this point forward is designed to reinforce your awakening. You are no longer the person who arrived at the beginning of this message. You are evolving with each realization, expanding into a version of yourself that lives not in reaction, but in creation. You have remembered that the quantum field does not reward effort. It responds to energy. And your energy has already shifted. You are now walking in alignment with the rhythm of the universe itself. You are not behind, not ahead, not waiting, only creating right here, right now. Every moment is your canvas, every thought your brushstroke. The masterpiece is not somewhere in the distance. It is unfolding in this exact breath. There comes a moment in every conscious awakening when you stop seeking and start being. You realize that the search itself was a bridge, not a destination. The very effort to find meaning has delivered you to the realization that meaning was never missing. It was always within you. Everything you have been asking for, everything you have been reaching toward, has been quietly waiting for your awareness to expand enough to recognize it. The universe was never withholding from you. It was aligning with the level of consciousness you were expressing. And now that your awareness has shifted, so too does the reflection of your world. You begin to live with an unshakable calm. The chaos that once unsettled you now feels like movement within a larger harmony. You see how every challenge carried wisdom, how every delay created space for alignment, how every disappointment redirected you toward your truth. What once felt random now feels precise. You understand that you were never being tested, you were being tuned. The dissonance of the past was not punishment, it was preparation. It was the friction that polished your awareness into clarity. Without those moments, you would not hold this depth of presence, this steadiness of energy, this understanding of creation. As your consciousness stabilizes, you begin to embody what the ancients called the observer state, the awareness that watches all experiences without becoming lost in them. You can feel emotions fully without being controlled by them. You can witness thoughts without believing every one of them. You can move through life's storms with the same inner stillness you feel in meditation. This is not detachment. It is mastery. It is the understanding that your awareness is the sky, and all experiences are passing clouds. They move, they change, they dissolve, but the sky remains untouched. In this state, manifestation becomes less about effort and more about resonance. You no longer create from desire alone, but from clarity and wholeness. You understand that what you seek is not something to acquire, but something to allow. When you are aligned, what belongs to you cannot miss you. It finds its way effortlessly because it is drawn by your frequency. You no longer chase opportunities, they are magnetized by your state of being. You no longer force outcomes, they unfold naturally in divine timing. This is not laziness, it is alignment with universal law. As you embody this awareness, you begin to feel the interconnectedness of everything. You sense that every person you meet is a reflection of a different aspect of consciousness, learning to know itself. You no longer see separation. You begin to act from compassion instead of judgment, from understanding instead of defense. Love stops being an emotion and becomes your natural frequency. You realize that love is not something you fall into, it is something you rise into. It is the natural state of awareness unburdened by fear. When you live from that state, everything you touch expands. Every conversation becomes healing. Every presence becomes uplifting. You may notice that life begins to feel lighter. The same world, the same people, the same responsibilities, but now infused with meaning and ease. You are no longer living through resistance. You have learned to flow. You no longer measure progress by external milestones, but by inner peace. You realize that abundance is not a number, it is a frequency of enoughness. You realize that purpose is not a task, it is the vibration of awareness expressing itself through you. You realize that happiness is not a pursuit, it is the natural byproduct of coherence. Your perception of success begins to transform. It is no longer about accumulation, but alignment. You recognize that fulfillment is not in how much you gain, but in how fully you are present while you live. The smallest moments, a breath, a glance, a sunrise, become portals to infinite peace. You begin to see beauty in simplicity, wisdom in stillness, and abundance in every ordinary moment. Life stops feeling like a race and starts feeling like a dance. You are no longer chasing time. You are moving in rhythm with it. The quantum field, which once felt like a mystery, now feels intimate. You understand that it was never outside of you. It is the fabric of your own consciousness. Every choice you make sends ripples through it. Every intention plants seeds within it. Every moment of gratitude amplifies its response. You are in continuous dialogue with existence itself. You speak to it through feeling, and it answers through experience. The clearer your vibration, the clearer its reflection. You are co-creating every instant in ways more profound than the mind can grasp. At this level of awareness, manifestation becomes secondary to realization. You realize that what you truly desire is not the object of manifestation, but the state of being it represents. You do not want abundance for its own sake. You want the freedom it symbolizes. You do not want love to fill a void. You want the recognition that you were whole all along. When you access those frequencies within yourself, the outer experiences follow automatically. You stop manifesting from lack and begin manifesting from overflow. That is the true secret of creation. To live in the energy of completion before the evidence appears. You will still experience challenges, but they will no longer shake you. You will see them as calibrations, opportunities to refine your vibration even further. You will face uncertainty, but it will no longer frighten you because you understand that uncertainty is simply unformed potential waiting for your alignment. You will experience endings, but they will no longer feel like loss because you know every ending is an initiation into higher order. You have learned to trust the unfolding. You have learned to trust yourself. As your energy continues to evolve, you naturally become a beacon for others who are ready to awaken. You will notice people drawn to your calm, your clarity, your steadiness. They will feel safe in your presence because you no longer carry chaos in your field. Without trying, you will teach through embodiment. Your life will become living proof that consciousness creates reality. You will inspire without effort, guide without control, and love without condition. This is the quiet power of alignment. It influences without demanding attention. The more you live in this awareness, the more life responds in miraculous ways. Doors open without knocking. Opportunities appear without searching. Healing occurs without effort. Time bends in your favor. The universe begins to move with you as though you are part of its rhythm, because you are. The boundary between self and creation fades until you realize there is no separation at all. You are the observer and the observed, the dreamer and the dream, the creator and the creation. Everything is one continuous expression of consciousness unfolding itself. This realization does not inflate the ego, it dissolves it. You understand that your power is not personal. It is universal, expressing through individuality. You no longer need recognition because you know you are part of something infinite. You no longer fear death because you understand you were never separate from life. You no longer resist change because you see that change is the very movement of creation. You are free, not because life has become perfect, but because your awareness has. You begin to live in what can only be called grace, a state where effort transforms into flow, where fear transforms into faith, where thought transforms into clarity. You act, but you are not driven by anxiety. You rest, but you are not trapped in stagnation. You speak, but your words carry the vibration of peace. You move through the world with intention, not urgency. You live as awareness in motion, grounded, expansive, awake. That is mastery. That is freedom. And so this message does not end, it simply continues through you. These words are not meant to stay on the page. They are meant to become energy in your life. Let them echo in your thoughts, your choices, your presence. Let them remind you that you are not waiting for alignment. You are alignment. You are not moving toward your power. You are your power remembering itself. Every breath you take is a declaration of creation. Every moment you choose awareness is an act of mastery. You were destined to encounter this message at this exact moment because your consciousness was ready to remember. You have arrived at the point where seeking ends and knowing begins. The field has heard you. The universe has aligned with you. The path forward is not a mystery, it is you unfolding. Continue to breathe consciously, to live intentionally, to create with love. The energy that guides galaxies is the same energy that now moves through your awareness, shaping a reality that reflects your truest essence. You are not on the path, you are the path. And the moment you realize that, you become infinite.